Do you know if there was someone, Kathy, by the name of Pete or Peter that had passed away?
My brother?
I kept hearing in my ear say Peter. I got Peter here.
I believe. I believe.
So first of all, your father passed here in the physical world. This is really interesting when he's telling me his story, because first of all, when I'm speaking to his soul, he shows me that he was very self-taught here in this world when connecting with him. When I speak to your dad, he says to me, Matt, he says, you know how much my daughter reminds me so much of myself here in the physical world. How do you connect with researching? Are you constantly researching? Because you show me like books and books and books and books and books with you.
I fought hard to get my doctorate as a nurse practitioner, and I work with HIV and LGBT.
So you're constantly researching the cure for AIDS? No
Constantly.
Because your father says to me, Matt, he goes, she's like me. I was the same way. Not that your dad was a doctor, but he's telling me when I'm connecting, I was a different way. He goes, I always had to know how things worked, he shows me. When he was here, he was really good at figuring things out, of putting the puzzles together and things like that. And he's telling me, Matt, he says, I want to let her know how proud I am of her, because I didn't get to say that enough here in this world. First of all, your dad just said to me, Matt, what was done to my daughter was not fair, because he tells me that not only did you lose your dad, but he also tells me you lost your family here in this world. He says to me, Matt, it's like my daughter grew up with nobody and it was all my fault. Do you understand that? This is why I tell you that sometimes souls wait years and years and years and years to come through, to deliver a message and to talk to you. And when I'm connecting with him, I have to tell you this. Your father tells me that here in this world, he says, Matt, I was not proud of the person that I became. And when I'm speaking to him, from back when you were younger, I keep smelling alcohol here when I'm connecting with him. He shows me that he had a terrible issue with alcohol. And as he's standing here, all this whole room smells all of alcohol in front of me. Your father tells me this. He says, Matt, he says, my daughter is the person that she is today because she had to witness so much from a young age. Your dad wants to apologize for the fighting that you saw between him and your mom. And he also wants to apologize for all of the turmoil that you had to go through back when you were a kid. He tells me that your mom was afraid of him here in this world. And he tells me when I'm connecting, Matt, he says, it's because I didn't make her life easy. He says, I threatened her. I did all of these terrible things. But do you know what your dad said? And this is like the saddest thing. He says to me, I want my daughter to know that her life was so much better without me, he tells me. Because the person I became is not the person that could have ever been a father to her here in this world. So what's really sad is your dad's bringing me back to the moment of him leaving the family, to the moment him dying, to where you are right now. And your father tells me that you've been always the one that's been doing cleanup. You've been the one that's been trying to go and put the family back together and hold everyone together and take care of everybody. And it's like from when you were younger, all of this responsibility has been left on your shoulders here in this world. What your dad wants to tell you is this. Your dad wants to say to you that as hard as it was for you to go through and to live life without him, he says, Matt, I am so proud of her. He says, because she never needed me within her life. And he's bringing that through. Your father shows me that not only do you do research, you're researching about HIV and all of these things, but your dad says to me, I never knew that my daughter was going to be such an incredible teacher here in this world. And he shows me you teaching.
Yeah.
He shows to me that he says, I watch over her. I see the people that she teaches here in this world. And he's also telling me about you writing a book as well, because I see the book that's being written. He's telling me.
I've helped write articles, and I've been wanting to put all my nursing memoirs together. She's inspiring me to do it.
Oh my God. So you're working on that right now?
Little teeny pieces here and there.
Listen, doesn't matter little teeny pieces. Every small step forward, right, is a baby step that we get to our dreams and our goals. And this is what's so important, is that the reason why your dad's bringing up all these validations of what you're doing right now is he tells me that you think all the time in your mind, oh my God, my father never even got to know me. He never got to know who I was, what I did, all of these things that I worked so hard for. And this is your dad's way of letting you know that on the other side, even though he missed so much, he was able to go back, to rewind time and see every single thing that you're doing right now at this moment. And that's what he needs you to know. He wants to let you know that he does love you. And more importantly, that he is sorry. He says, because alcohol ruins my world here in this world. He says, and the one thing that I was missing, he says, was a family of my own. He says, I didn't have anybody to get me back on track. It was just your mom. And I didn't listen. So know that one of the things is that he shows me now that he lives life completely wrong. He says that he could have had a family with you. He could have had so much with his daughter and his wife. He says, but he says, I threw it all away. So know that he's sorry. Know that he's letting you know that he is watching over you right here and right now, and that he is with you. Do you know if there was someone, Kathy, by the name of Pete or Peter that had passed away?
My brother.
Wow. That's crazy, huh? Listen, I gotta tell you, no wonder why I get a TV show.
I believe. I believe.
So please know that Peter is here as well. You know, I know that you weren't expecting to hear this message from your dad, but he's the one who had to step forward because there was so much that was left unsaid here in this world. So what's crazy is this, is I know that your brother was sick before his passing here in the physical world, but he also shows me this was a tragedy when I'm connecting with him, because he said to me, I wasn't supposed to die like this. I wasn't supposed to die like this. And he's bringing that through. He says, I wanted to let my sister know one thing. I thought I was invincible, he tells me.
He did.
He said to me that he did not do what he was supposed to do. He did not do the right things here in this world. He says, Matt, he says, he shows me he wasn't taking medication correctly. He says to me that he wasn't eating and taking care of his body here in this world. And when he died, this happened all of a sudden, all at once, so quickly, so fast, that even though he was sick for many years, right? Your brother never had it under control. It just lay dormant for a while and built and built and built and built and built until all of a sudden I just see his body shut down and he died.
Yeah.
He's here.
Oh, thank you.
He said to me, Matt, I need to let her know I am so sorry for what she had to see, for what she had to experience, and more importantly, this lingering guilt and pain that you've been feeling with every single day. He says, please let her know that it's okay to let go. It's okay to release all of that. And I am watching over her in spirit. He says, I died because I didn't do what I was supposed to within my body. He says, and I know that my family begged me, my friends begged me, everyone begged me to just listen, to pay attention. He says, and to just keep a closer eye on what was going on, but I didn't. So he says to me this, he says, Matt, he goes, that's just the person I was. He says, I wasn't going to listen to anybody. But my sister shouldn't hold on to that guilt. Do you understand that?
I do.
So know that he's thanking you for loving him. He's thanking you for taking care of your mom. And he's thanking you for every single thing that you're doing here in this world. He says to me, Matt, he says, even though my life's passed so quickly, he says, I'm so happy to watch over my sister because she's making the world a better place. I really hope that this helped you today.
Oh, you have no idea. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for being here.